speed issues. It's not going uphill or downhill. It's pretty level, but it has got some serious break to it. The putts that we saw yesterday, and nobody played this high enough. Everybody was missing it low, but he can get this out there. Good, solid 3 feet.
Pretty good try and very nice pace, so not much stress left there for Kevin Sutherland.
See if he's going to finish. This is kind of the match play aspect of these playoffs, is deciding, you know, when to finish, put a little pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, if it's no stress to you, then go ahead and finish out, and you're not in his line. I would definitely get it out of the way, get it in the hole. Just adds a little bit more heat to your playing opponent.
So Broadhurst needs this to extend the playoff.
It's got to have some movement, Kurt.
It does. There's still some break to the right here, but you know, that now the decision is he has to make it to keep it going. So do you play a little less break and hit it more firmly, or do you just stick with what you've been doing this whole week and feed it in there?
I think you stick with what you've been doing. I always felt like the putt I was going to try and hit hard never worked out. The best thing is to continue putting like you always do. If you're a roller where you roll it in the hole, that's what you do. If you want to jam it in, then go ahead. But whatever it is, you've got to commit to it right now before he gets over the ball. Very solid. That was impressive. And you know what? That's a good feeling for him. He's now got a little boost of confidence. I hold one.
So we move on to the 8th playoff hole. And they will go over to the par 5 18th. 7 playoff holes. Neither player's made a birdie yet.
Yeah, they'd be having a very dull round of golf right now. On this course, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You know, to get some pars. You think they would have maybe tied 18 at one point in time with a birdie, but I tell you what's making it tough with is the hole location. Really difficult hole location there at 17, and then this back right hole location at 18 is just dripping off the back edge with water to the right. So it's not an easy hole location to get close to. And we take a look, and there is the hole location 18 right on the back edge. You go long there, you've got issues off the right side of the green, right down in the penalty area. So I think if you could get at it in 2, it might be best putting it in one of the 2 bunkers, taking a longer bunker shot, but not an easy wedge if you lay up. And if you put it in that back bunker, you've really got issues.
And not to belabor the point, but in typical years, there are grandstands behind the screen and to the player's left, and it just looks a little safer. It looks like there's, you know, a backboard, essentially.
Yeah, it does frame it just a touch better, no question. Now, I don't think either one of these players can reach the screen in 2 right now, Kurt.
Pretty chilly, and there is 0 wind.
I was out there earlier, and there was some wind earlier. This is out to the right.
And it missed the fairway bunker to the right, so this will be a layup.
It's sitting down. I don't think the overhanging limb is going to cause him any issues.
Lanny, with this setup that you were talking about with Broadhurst driver, that first drive, of course, it was the first drive, and it's chilly out here, but the trajectory was just a hair lower, and it turned over very nicely for him. So
yeah, this is his old driver, his old setup. Obviously, he's not as long with this. I think both of them were trying a new driver, actually the same make is what they were both trying, and they both felt like they were longer with the new head, but Brody had put in a couple different shavs in it, and then this is back to his old
left. This is going to end up in the rough, I'm pretty sure.
No problems, though.
One player missing right, one player missing left at the par 5 18th. The playoff continues in Phoenix. It's a gorgeous Monday morning here in Phoenix. A little chillier than it's been for much of the weekend. Kevin Sutherland, Paul Broadhurst on the 8th hole of a sudden death playoff, coming back to finish on a Monday morning after getting 6 holes in last night. And Broadhurst up against the path.
We're going to take your lead. This is going to have to lead to this side. Behind us. Watch out.
Joe Terry is the official, same official that walked with these players last night.
Yep.
After he takes this drop here, he's got 250 to the front edge of the green, 275 to the hole. And Lanny, what we saw yesterday is he likes to lay it up pretty aggressively down there. He doesn't like to leave 100 or 90. He was trying to leave it in the mid-70s for that, yardage-wise, for that third shot. And I kind of expect him to just stay with that idea.
I would too, Kurt. And I like that plan. If you're bold enough to hit your second shot down there, I like that play because I think it's an easier third with that hole location in the back. You can actually take your third shot downstairs and kind of hit a little low checker one in there and get it to spin up close rather than trying to fly it back there.
So this is a 6-iron. 200-yard shot would lead 75 yards. So let's see where this ends up.
You want to take a club to get it close, but you don't want it jumping and putting that penalty area in play.
Should be just fine.
A little bit more left than he was earlier, but good shape. Maybe a hair further back than he's been in the past, too.
Kevin Sutherland, no real issues here. That overhanging limb does get in the way, but you can just keep it low or go left and cut it. Try to get it down there about where Brody's ball is, but he actually laid it up quite a bit short and is going to have more of a full shot in between those bunkers. Decent angle, no issues.
Two completely different ways to play this shot now. And Kevin's wedge game has been outstanding this week. His rotation through the shot has been nice. He's controlled the distances and the spin. Excellent. So I would look for him to hit a pretty high quality shot coming up here.
Broadhurst only has one prior playoff appearance on the PGA Tour Champions when he teamed up with Kirk Triplett to beat Bernhard Langer and Tom Lehman at the Bass Pro Shops Legends of Golf at Big Cedar Lodge. That was 2 years ago. Sutherland is 2-2, and Lanny alluded to this. Both of his wins last year in playoffs, both against Scott Burrell.
Indeed. And then when Brody and Triplett won their playoff against Langer and Lehman, it was actually Triplett that holed a bunker shot on the first playoff hole. And up until then, it had been all Brody carrying the team. So ended up being a good win for the two of them.
Yeah, Triplett talked about that afterwards, didn't he? He said he was just riding that horse throughout the tournament.
Well, that's what you do. Brody's such a good iron player. And, I mean, it was a par 3 tournament, if you will. So they were hitting a lot of par 3 shots, a lot of 7-irons, and kind of the strength of Brody's game. What's he got, John Cook?
1-1-3, 113 hole. 108 gets up in that little ridge up there that does separate the green just a little bit. like Kurt alluded to yesterday, that goes back down green once you get up on top of that little level. Wind is actually going to help him here, so I would say just a comfortable gap wedge.
This is the shot he's been hitting extremely well all week, just about this distance too. Watch him on the rotation. If he rotates through the shot nicely, it's usually a pretty good strike.
Really nice lie. No issues on spinning the golf ball, so he can land it wherever he wants to. Going in there a little bit low. Needs to get up just a little.
Hit right into the one patch of green that would have been into him, and it stopped pretty quick. So he's got about 14 feet.
Broadhurst has 82 yards, so just a little short of where he was yesterday, but still in good shape. Just a 3/4 sandwich here.
I think
Kevin Sutherland's ball, I think, is in the way here. He's going to have him mark it.
Please, thank you. I think it's right about where he'd like to land it.
That's exactly right. Right where you can almost see a little grain change just on the other side of his ball there. If you land it right there, it should take one hop. And if he catches it cleanly, he did hit one blooper yesterday with no spin that ended up over the green. But you catch it cleanly, it should take one bounce and check.
Yeah, that one he hit long yesterday, Kurt. I mean, you're talking about that grain change, and from that grain change, it is down grain for the player at this stage, and it goes off the back of the green. That shot yesterday carried about 6 inches past the hole, so it was close, but no chance of stopping on the down grain side. Kurt, I got to ask, on this shot he's getting ready to play. It's almost too long to be going in low, isn't it?
Almost, though. His trajectory in general, you've talked about it a bunch. His trajectory in general is fairly low with his iron shots. I think if he catches this how he wants to, it'll still be sort of a medium height spinner.
The refreshing thing about both these players, they both get on with it. They play. Not a lot of messing around.
Needs a big bounce. Oh, he didn't play a spinner. He played what a great shot.
Wow, unbelievable play there.
How about that?
Boy, it just kept rolling out. That was unique. I love that play. And take a look at this again. And Paul Broadhurst, watch the short backswing. Not very long, hardly waist high. And then drives this thing in there low, playing for the release. That's a man that knows his game right there. Beautiful shot.
And it did come awfully close to Sutherland's mark.
It did, yes.
That was his target.